That's wonderful. Welcome to the SPRTER podcast.
Very nice to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Let me introduce you to our audience. So my name is Tilo. I'm your host of the SPRTER podcast, founder of the SPRTER app, and we're now talking to Artem Manko, who's a very accomplished Paralympic fencer. He's won silver at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo 2020. He's got 2 gold and 2 bronze at the Team World Para Fencing Championship, and 1 silver and 2 bronze at the World Championship under 23. Exciting, lots of accomplishments here. And I also want to make sure to mention Artem's experience store on the SPRTER app, where you can anyone can book some really exciting experiences with Artem. So learn more about him, connect with him on the SPRTER app there, and let's delve into what's brought you to fencing. Talk us through from the beginning. I'm excited.
Okay, so I started fencing at 6 years old. Yeah, when I was a child, it was my friends from school that brought me there. And I was an Olympic fencer before, like until 12 years. Yeah, and after that, I got a massive accident. I fell off from the 5th floor. Yeah, and after that, I got no opportunity to continue in Olympic fencing. Yeah, so my coach said that there is a way to like do sports, that I can fence in a wheelchair. Yeah, and after that, was there until now. Yeah, like that.
All right, that's a lot to that's a lot to unpack. So you are originally from the Ukraine, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
And you're competing for the Ukraine at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
And which part of the Ukraine are you originally from?
I'm from Cherkasy. It's like 200 kilometers from Kyiv. It's a central part of Ukraine. It's a safe place in the moment, you know. But yesterday there was an air strike on our infrastructure buildings. Yeah, and it's now not too safe as it was before, you know, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a lot to unpack. We definitely got to delve into that part as well a little bit later on. So you Ukrainian fencer, started fencing, was an Olympic fencer already.
Yeah.
And
not Olympic fencer. Like I was in Olympic fencing, and tried to compete there, for 6 years. Yeah, but I was a child and not too successful. Yeah, I won once. I won a Ukrainian championship in a team event in saber. I'm a saber fencer from stars. Yeah, and the saber is my main weapon. Yeah, but in wheelchair fencing, I fence on 2 weapons, on Epi and on saber. Yeah, like that.
Okay. So you started fencing, and then what is it about fencing that excited you? That
it's it's like box, like all the sports that are like when you mention with someone else, like 1-to-1. Yeah, and it's more safe and more elegant sport for me. It's cool for me because it have a lot of history, you know. Yeah, there's a rules in fencing that matches the rules in real life before, like in the old times. I can tell you more about that if you want.
Yeah, bring it. I'm excited.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we have 3 types of weapon. It's foil, epi, and saber. In foil fencing, you got an area like from the shoulders to the legs, without arms, without head. And on foil, in old times, you must be like very precise with the hits. You want to hit the most I don't know how to say it right, like the heart or liver, you know.
Okay,
Yeah,
the most vulnerable parts.
yeah, yes, true. So sorry for that. I'm not like too good with English.
Oh no,
Yeah,
your
so
English is great.
thank you. In the foil fencing, you need to hit the most. You understand me,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes, the places and in Epi, it was a very hard and heavy weapon, and you can hit like everything, like leg, like fingers, stuff like that, and your opponent will be injured, like pretty much. Yeah, and on saber, we got only from the hands and head to the legs, like to your bottom. Yeah, because all saber warriors was on the horses. Yes, and you should not damage the horse because the horse was valid like a village, like a small village, you know.
Okay.
And you needed to save that horse and take it with you in the old time, sure.
So
Yeah, and all that rules are like transferred to our times to the sports fencing. Yeah.
okay, that's very interesting. And what about saber and epi that makes you excited rather than foil, for example?
Yeah. In foil in the sports foil, there is a lots of like misses. You know,
Hmm.
when you touch in the area that you are not supposed to touch, the lights on the device lighten up, and it's like not real fencing for me. Yeah, you can hit leg, and the score will not score. Yeah, and in saber and epi, it's the most historical fencing, like for
So
me.
okay, so it's almost like, yeah, in the real world I would have killed you right now, but it
Yeah,
still
sure.
doesn't count.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, after your accident and transitioning into wheelchair fencing, can you talk us through what emotions you were going through and what that process was like?
Um, it was a process of it was very painful process because I decided to come back to Olympic fencing, but my legs are not working as well as they should. It was very painful to run, to jump, to fence on the legs. Yeah, and my coach seen that, and she just said that you are not able to compete anymore. Sorry for that, but we have an opportunity to continue sports. Like we can go to the training camp, to the national team. You will look for that. Maybe you will like it. Yeah, and we went there. It was exciting to see what's the wheelchair fencing, because almost all people know what fencing are, but they don't know how to fence in a wheelchair. They know that fencers are running back and forwards a lot of times, but in a wheelchair, how is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just seen that, and it was really interesting for me, and I tried it. The national coaches of wheelchair fencing just seen that I have a lot of basis movements, a lot of basis skills. Yeah, and they said, we want you, just come to us, like that. Yeah, and after that, I went to every training camp and almost every competition. I started my first competition, an international competition. I think in 2017. Yeah, just after the Rio Paralympic Games,
Hmm.
because before Rio, there was not too much sense to try that. I was not able to go to Paralympic Games because it was like too late. Yeah, and I went to first competition like on 2017, just after Rio, to try and go to Tokyo.
And as part of that process, where you are at now to where you started, how do you see, what would you say is your, call it, your biggest success? It doesn't need to be the biggest that everyone thinks is your biggest, but for you personally, what do you think is your biggest success and why?
My biggest success, I think it's a tough question. I'm not like a big lover of saying what I'm best of like that. Yeah, but I think sure Tokyo is the biggest success just because it's my first Paralympic Games. And there was a lot of stress to deal with, and I'm glad that I dealt with it. That tried to keep my head cool without any emotions or stuff like that. And in Tokyo, I fenced with my teammate, with Andrei Demchuk. Yeah, and we are like friends. Like we're not opponents. We are friends. We are in one team, in one saber team that we won 2 world championships. And on trainings and training camps, it was hard for me to fence with him because he's really very skilled, and he was a Paralympic champion in Rio. Yeah, there was a lots of fear, but there, I don't know, my head just cooled down. And there was nothing like there was nothing but skills, no emotions, just skill, and like go to your well, go to your to meta. I don't know how to say it right. Sorry. Yeah, so I think the Tokyo was my biggest success to deal with myself first.
How do you overcome that? As in, I just imagine, like, I'd be nervous as hell. And how do you cool down? You said there was nothing, there's just that competition. That's like, how do you focus like that?
I'm listening to music I think almost everyone does, but this music is very specific. It's like the OST, like the film from the music from films, from movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love that music, like the tracks that was in some intense scenes. Maybe like the movie Tenet. Maybe I think you know it. Yeah, and so there was a lot of scenes where some action fighting or something like that, and I'm just imagined that I'm the main person in that movie, and I'm gonna win, and stuff like that. Yeah, but not too much inspiring, but but still, I really love that action in my head like that.
I could see that. It's almost like that Gladiator, where it's like the tension
like
builds. That's something I would listen to. That I can see that a lot. That's cool. Now when we announce our podcast, we generally ask our followers to send us some questions that we can then pass on to you. So at Pro Advice, we ask you some questions from our audience.
Yeah, sure.
One is, I often crumble under the pressure when I see an opponent who's very good. How can I block that out mentally and focus on my own performance? And I think you just briefly talked about that, but do you have recommendations in this area?
It's every fight, it's not the fight with the opponent. As I said before, that every opponent is beatable, that you can beat them. But the first, you need to beat yourself. You need to beat your fear. You need to beat your like crumble, yeah, and stuff like that. You just need to inspire yourself with words. I'm the best. I'm gonna do that. Like in every sport, you need to inspire yourself first. And then after a lot of training, you could beat anyone. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's good
So,
advice.
yeah.
So focus on yourself first and then the opponent.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's right.
We'll pass that on. And the second question of pro advice reads, I feel as though my pre-competition routine could be better. What do you suggest I do?
Pre-competition routine. Okay. That's like I think I need to think about that. Like in one sport or in a couple of sports, like maybe only in fencing, maybe only in like in boxing, football, like that. Yeah, and you think I think just before the competitions, like you need to rest a couple of days, like 2 or 3 days, like do nothing with your sport. You need to just relax, rest, and after that, there is like hypercompensation in your organism that will compensate all your lost power, and after that you will feel very light and strong. You know, and
Okay.
but in every sport, the routines is so important because you need to train your muscles, do in the right way, um, because you don't need to think about that later. Like you need to do the same exercises again and again and again, and you will think only about tactics, not about your movements, only about tactics, and it's a lot easier then.
Okay, so you say you have your physics, you have your actual your movement, and so they're all trained, they're all routine, and then focus on the tactics. I can see
Yes,
that.
sure.
Okay,
Okay.
that's very good. Very good advice. We'll pass that on. Thank you so much. Now, I want to ask a little bit more on the Paralympic aspect of the sport because I think a lot of people are interested in. And you are able to walk, right? You said
Yeah.
you struggled with some of the explosive movements. You're able to walk, but you fence in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk us through that aspect a little bit for some of
Yeah,
our
sure.
audience that's not so familiar with it?
Yeah, sure. In the wheelchair fencing, we got 3 categories of fencers with that disabilities. The category A, it's like my category. It's less injured athletes that's got maybe some kind of amputation or maybe some disabilities with legs, but they are in place. Yeah, or maybe some small injury to the spine. Yeah, that the spine is okay, but not too good. Yeah, so I'm in that category, in category A. Yeah, and then we got category B. Category B, it's the athletes with the broken spine and with less movements, a lot less movements in the spine, and they are not able to walk at all. Yeah, and the category C is injury of the neck spine, like the neck area, the most hard injury. And that category is not very popular and not in the Olympics because there is not too much people in there. Yeah, so the only category A and category B can compete in Olympics. Yeah, but maybe if someone from category C wants to join the Olympics, they can be reclassified to category B, and they can compete in Olympics, but surely with category B. Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but if they want to, I guess.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, can you give us some inside scoop from Tokyo, from the I guess Paralympic Village? What is going on behind the scenes during the Paralympic Games?
During the Paralympic Games, there's nothing so special, nothing so different than the Olympic Games. All people are stressed. They are really intense. You can see that on the faces. But sorry, in Tokyo it's not too easy because they all was in masks. You should wear a mask in all places, even in like the halls with the food. Yeah, the dinner. And it's really about the stress because all the guys, all the girls, they are really intense because they know maybe this is their last chance to win Paralympic or Olympic medals. Yeah, and most of the times I was just on trainings and in my room because before the competition I don't like to talk too much with anybody. I'm trying to concentrate on myself, just to watch the videos from the latest competitions, think about my tactics and stuff like that. Yeah. But I spoke with different teams just on the World Cups, like on the meetups, and they was not too humane like that. It was hard to speak with them just because they wanted to like bark on you. They wanted to not to speak with you because they got their own business, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Like that. Yeah, and it's really hard to communicate with someone on the Olympics or Paralympics because really all that village are a massive stress point, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, there's no such things as a parties or something like that. And in Tokyo, was not allowed to go out the village. We always was with the security guys in the buses because there was a coronavirus. Yeah, and maybe I didn't get that spectrum of emotions that I should get from the Olympics, but that was nice. Like that.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
So you basically missed out on a lot of the fun that this event could actually be because of the coronavirus. I can absolutely see that. So hopefully Paris 24 will be a much better experience then. Are you training actively for Paris? Is that the big goal?
Yes, sure. I'm now not located not in Ukraine. I'm now in Germany.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm trying to get myself into that training process. It is hard because of the war. You know, I'm a bit nervous about about my dad, about my grandparents. Yeah, but I'm trying to train as much as I could, but. It's hard because the city where I am, it's only like 3 times a week trainings. Yeah, and maybe it's not enough, you know. But we'll see that in a month, maybe I will go back to Ukraine. We'll see that.
Okay, so that's a lot in. Like, I want to ask a whole bunch of follow-up questions that you have there. I'm actually originally from Germany, close to Heidelberg. So where in Germany are you based at the moment?
Heidelberg. I think this place is not too far from me. It's near Stuttgart.
Yes,
my place. Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm in Sindelfingen. Maybe you know
Okay,
that.
I know that. Yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
Dublin game and some stuff like that. Yeah, I'm
And
really here.
and did the Ukrainian federation help with moving you to Germany, or how did you go about leaving the Ukraine, and what? Yeah, how did you go about that process?
It was a tough decision for me to leave the Ukraine, but my dad just said you must do that. It's not safe here. You should go to other country, no matter which one. You just need to leave Ukraine as soon as possible and like continue training, maybe find a job like that, But it's nothing to do in Ukraine now, and our Ukrainian federation, made a lot of things to help us with moving out.
Okay.
Not all men, not all men in Ukraine are allowed to go out of the Ukraine because of the war, because of the
Yeah.
mobilization. Yeah, and the federation are pushed the border guys
Hmm.
to let us through. Yeah, because we can't go to the battlefield. Yeah, but we can do our own battle on our front, on the
Yeah.
sport front. You know. Yeah, and here in Germany. Help. Sorry. Here in Germany, my friends from Germany too helped me. His name is Morris Schmitz. He invited me to Germany and helped with all of the stuff, with all of the document stuff. He found me for me and my family a house, which I'm now. Yeah, and he really helped us a lot. Yeah, and now we are training with him in his hall with his coach. Yeah, so Germany did a lot of things to keep us safe and sound.
That
Yeah, and
that's
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
great to hear. Did you meet him fencing?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
it
I'm
okay?
actually in fencing in one of the competitions, but not in one. We are like near each other on every competition.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's one of the top athletes too. So like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just spoke with him before, like not a friends, but just like when you see the same face every time, you want to speak with him
Yeah.
in any way. Yeah, so we became some kind of friends. Yeah, and he invited us here, like me and three other people in his city. And the Federation of Fencing in Germany invited all other team in other city,
Okay.
who were closer to the sea in Rostock. Yeah, so we are like separated, but united anyway. No, like that.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean there. It's great that the sport community comes together and
Yeah, sure.
support each other. Obviously, in a particular during a time when your country is getting attacked by an aggressor. Um, it's very sad to hear.
Yeah,
And as you said, you are representing on not on the battlefield, but you're representing the country on your own battlefield. And I
yeah,
think
right.
there's a lot of things, a lot of positive things that come from sport and athletes representing at the international stage.
Yeah,
You
and
said sorry, you go.
yeah, I just wanted to say that in the peace times, my thought is that the sport is the kind of international war, like constant international war, when all countries are representing their best people just to fight with each other
Yeah.
in different sports in everything. Yeah, and they are like trying to compare which one is better in that way. But now it's not only in sports. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, unfortunately. Now, you said
Yeah,
that you potentially plan on going back to the Ukraine at some point soon.
yeah, sure. I hope
But
so.
well, hopefully the war will be over soon, and I know that Ukraine has been it's been very successful in pushing the Russians back, at least out of Kiev. But then the Luhansk area has been still a lot of
Yeah, yeah. The Donetsk
war.
region and Lugansk region is occupied from 2014.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard to get them back just because people want to they don't want nothing. They don't want Ukraine or Russia. They want just peace, just
yeah.
to be stable. You know. Yeah, but we're not here for the politics, I think. Yeah,
We're not. We're not. Unfortunately, politics impact all of us. So,
yeah,
and
sure.
obviously, you much more than me right now.
Yeah,
So yeah, very sad to hear about it. I think it's just one of those aspects that, particular when someone like you compete for your country at an international level, we're always representing the nation as well. So
yes,
it's interesting and obviously very sad right now. So fingers crossed, and we send all of the as much
yeah,
positive
sure.
energy as we can.
Thank you. I
Now,
hope.
yeah, now I know time is valuable, and I've taken up a lot of your time already. So I
It's all right.
really appreciate the insights that you provided, and yeah, it's very intriguing to learn more about the sport and the para aspect. Now, before I finish, I have one last question. Para sport overall has. How do you see it has developed over the last years, and where do you see it going into in the future?
You know, the para sports is very exciting sport just because there are a lot of people that are not broken. They like they broken, but their spirit is still strong, and they want to show all the world that they are strong until now. And I hope I'm not sure, but I hope the world will know about that more and more and more and more and more with how to say it right with that expand. Yeah, maybe in not in the wheelchair fencing because we got different federation and not the International Olympic Committee, but the IWAS. It's International Wheelchair and Amputee Society, like that. Yeah, and but I hope that more and more people will join us. That they will not lay on the. Maybe you know that when people are getting into incidents in a car crash or something like that,
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do about it. It's already happened.
yeah,
Yeah, and but you still can move on to your targets to be and invest in something, and you can just stand up and get moving like that.
and I think that that is a lot of inspiration and being a really good role model for those who may not be sure about it. What can I do? How can I get involved? So I appreciate you being a role model in that area as well, and showing
Thank you.
people what you can do And as you said, you can still be the best in
Sure.
an area. So I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for all of that.
Yeah, thank you for the invites, and I hope you will have a schönen Abend. Yeah.
Danke. Wish you a great evening as well. All of our listeners, keep in mind to check out Artem's experience store on the SPRTER app as well. Connect with him there, as well as on all of the social media at oknametra_.
Yeah, right.
We'll link you out, and we'll follow and support, and hopefully Paris 24 is on the horizon, and good luck with everything. Thanks for joining the
Thank you very much.
podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.